So guys, I thought I'd take you along with me. I'm doing my winter planting, or my September planting. Now the idea of this stuff is I'm going to put some in garden. I'm going to plant some direct, in fact, behind you in that bed. But what I really want to do is get stuff ready to go in buckets and into these tubs now, ready to go. I might do a second planting or a further planting of lettuce, just because they still might bolt. So I'm going to see how I go with that. But what I am planting is lettuce seed, which are my saved seeds, which I save regular. There's probably 6 types of lettuce in there. I've got some going to seed now outside, which I'll leave to collect seed for fresh, because I didn't collect any last year, and these are slowing down on actual germination. Don't get me wrong, I won't waste them. I'll probably just spread these on some beds that I'm not using, and whatever comes up comes up. In spring I might be able to pick some out and use them and relocate them. My favourite radishes. I'm going to multi-sow these. I'm going to multi-sow some beets for in here. I've got some beets in buckets that I'm going to move in here. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm not going to show you planting and what I'm doing, so you don't have to worry about that. And more spring onions. Reason being is I don't want to have to buy onions over winter. I had a good crop this year. Might not need to use these until, you know, really late winter, early springtime. So this is the experiment this year. Obviously this back wall behind me is going to be full, and as the tomatoes come out, some of this stuff will be going into them tubs. Again, I might plant some seeds. What I did last year, I just did a silly experiment and planted on November, I think it was November 15th. So they started, but they didn't do anything until early spring, which was still good. I got an early spring harvest. Show you what's going on. I've got some buckets here that are not producing anymore. These were some radishes, some of them shut off, probably a bit too hot there. And because everything's greened up, it's probably not worth planting anything back in them here. I've got 3 buckets. I think I've probably got about 5 buckets, which I can start planting up now. And what I'm going to do with them is transplant some of the lettuce, which is in that other bed. I'm going to top this soil up and transplant some of that lettuce that's already growing in that other bed, see how they do. So as you probably saw the other day, this is that bed while the salad starts in. I just sprinkle seeds over it and let them do their own thing. So what I'll do is I'll transplant some of these into them buckets, and obviously I'll have some fresh seedlings coming to replace them or whatever as they go along. But I think there's probably 4 or 5 buckets there what I can move into greenhouse. I will have to water by hand, but that's not a big detriment. The rest of the stuff can stay outside here while it's doing what it's doing. I've got some leaf miner on these. What I might end up doing is, again, I'll leave them here for a minute, see how they go, but I might move them into greenhouse at a later date, and if they don't bulb, I might transplant some, separate. In fact, I might just separate one of them buckets into 2 buckets, just to see what happens. But on worst case scenario, which is not really a worst case scenario, providing I can get rid of that leaf miner or get control of it, I can use them for salad leaves in salads over winter. Because again, the idea is to get as much stuff as we can for greenery and salads over winter. And as you know, cold hardy, you can leave them out all winter. I have done it in the past and had a spring harvest. So guys, that's them planted up. I've got 2 radish, 3 beets, 3 spring onions, lettuce. What I've also done here is just broadcast sowed radish here and more salad here quite thickly. You can always pick that out and replant, because this is like, if you imagine a garden, a permaculture garden, this would be like zone 1. I have to check the birds. I'm going to come to greenhouse, so I've got to walk past that. That bed's also easy to cover with a fleece or whatever, because it's not very wide. I've just cleared a bit of bed and found these spring onions which got left. There's not much green on them, so I'm going to plant some of them in one of them buckets, see how they go, see if they'll bulb up. Like I say, I don't really want to be buying onions over winter, and anything I got, be it green or these, now they've bulbed up, if they'll bulb up better for spring, I should have some onions all winter. So let's have a look at these. These are putting small beets on. They're the ones that are at the back that weren't getting as much light. So I'm not going to bother swapping them. I'm going to take these leaves off with beet miner on and hang them on the wall probably. That's what happened to my cabbages. Dispose of that later. But again, whatever happens with these, I can always use them for leaves, providing it's all protein, isn't it, Terry? That's your boy. But I reckon they'll be alright. What I'll do is top this up, and I'm going to plant some of them onions in that one. And all I'm going to do is put 5 in. I don't know if they'll do anything. Could possibly have gone a bit closer. No, 5 will be right, I think. But they should start growing again. They've got water, they've got light, and we'll see how we go. So, I've got 5 of these lettuce. Well, I've got a few of these lettuce. I'm going to plant 5 in here again. Now, I'll show you what I'm doing when I've finished wall, but I just thought I'd explain what I've got, and we'll get on with it. And like I said, I've planted peas in there now. They're quite thick. And plan is, because I've got some of them tubs have got carrots in, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how they're going to do, but they seem to be doing all right. But I've got 8 tubs. I've got that for peas, which I'm going to use for pea shoots. And when I plant these out with lettuce and whatever I can, I'll probably do 8. Like and pick like Charles Dowding does. Normally I just cut top off and let them come back if I'm out in garden, I've got space. But if I pick the leaves round, then it'll leave more space, and then what I'll probably be able to do is get three groups of spring onions in the middle. Because I'm picking leaves off, it gives them space, and lettuce have got space as well. And I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tubs to do that with. So I can never have enough lettuce due to the fact that the birds will eat it all day. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm doing for today. Lettuce, obviously. That were another potato that were at bottom. That's not one of the Spudomatic's original ones. That were one that we're starting, and as you can see, it's been attacked by slugs now, and it was also covered by beans, so it weren't getting any light. So I've brought that in here, see if it picks up, see if it does out. I've topped them up. I haven't done anything with that yet. I'll train one at beets inside, one outside. Leave it where they're still good enough anyway. I've just created light. I'll show you what I mean. Some of them onions, I don't know what they're going to do. Planted about 10 in that, just to see what they do. If they, if they start growing all right, then they start growing all right. But I didn't want to just like take 3 buckets up with them and not do anything. If you've noticed, I haven't filled it all. I've left spaces. It means we're going to get more light at the moment. And I'll show you what Spudomatic looks like now. So as you can see, that's got more light, they've got more light, so I'll not bother bringing them in. They're the two bugs I still need to harvest, and I've just harvested. I thought I'd harvested all the beans off these that were ready, but I haven't. I'll get them as well. We've had a couple of meals off these already. This is only 2 buckets with beans in, you know, and I'm really surprised how well they've done. I'd probably put them lower down next time I do beans, because they obviously drop down and cover what's at bottom. So if I did the first 2 bottom rows of beans, then they'd obviously not affect everything else that's growing underneath it. And that's just quick harvest. That's them beans off them plants, and they're still flowering, still forming. I've got some more in the garden where I need to harvest as well to freeze. So quite pleased. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Nice to be nice.